What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Laugh and Death podcast. I am today's host. My name is Alex. This is David, and I have Fern.
How's it going,
as
guys?
always? Just so you guys know, heads up, we do have 3 episodes left this year. We have 2 episodes in November and 1 coming out in December, and then we'll be back on our regular schedule in the new year of 2019.
Yeah. So, guys, just look forward to the next episode coming in the week after Thanksgiving, and then we will have one the first week of December probably, and then we're going to take about a month off because holidays and
everyone
we
has
respect your schedule and
busy
stuff
schedules,
like that. And then we're pretty busy as well. So
yeah. Other than that, make sure to check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/laughanddeath. Make sure to check us out on Instagram at Laugh and Death Podcast. Make sure to follow us and share anything. Let us know how you guys feel about our content. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for listening. Other than that, how are you guys doing today? How are you guys doing this week?
I'm pretty depressed, man.
Why is that?
The king of modern fiction is dead.
George R. R. Martin?
No, not George Railroad Martin. The man himself. The one who inspired me and who's always kept me... I'm a man-child, and it's because of Stan Lee. Like, I owe him my childhood, my adulthood, and I mean, I was super depressed when I found out the news that he had passed, and yeah, rest in peace, Stan Lee. But
straight up, rest in peace. I mean, even though I wasn't that deep in like the comic and all that like superhero universe theory stuff, I mean, I can't not talk about Stan Lee. You know what I mean? Like this, he's a legend. He's a big figure in imagination and creativity. You know what I mean? Like, I can't not talk about it. So that's why I wanted to. We all wanted to talk about Stan Lee. You know, we have to.
Yeah, like I wasn't big into comic books when I was little. I still kind of am not, but like just the whole Marvel movies and just to know that he created the whole universe basically. And his cameos are usually pretty funny in the movie theater. Even though I was kind of getting tired of them after a while, but I was thinking about it the other day. When I saw the news, I was like, the next Marvel movie that he's in, like the next cameo, you know, the theater's gonna go like fucking crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean, even in the like, I enjoyed his cameos. You know, like at first when he would first come out as a kid, I didn't know who he was. Like I didn't know like who. You know what I mean? But then once I realized what was going on and who he was, I really enjoyed it. You know what I mean? And to this day, when he does come out, people are like, yeah, like people still like
cheer,
cheered like hell yeah, like that's so cool.
When we went to go see Infinity War, like when he comes out, Infinity War, where he's driving the bus. When Spider-Man takes off.
Yeah.
He's like, what? You kids haven't seen an alien spaceship before? And everybody in the theater went crazy.
Lost it, yeah.
Everybody.
And I wonder, I mean, this is besides the point, but I wonder like how many cameos he recorded ahead of time, because I think there was reports before, like years or months before he like passed away, that he had recorded like the rest of his cameos for the next upcoming movies. So I don't know how
that's what I was thinking about. Like, what if? Yeah,
I don't know how far ahead they planned, because he was 95.
Yeah,
so he lived a good fucking life. I saw a lot of people with like, oh rip, or just like, of course, like rest in peace and shit like that. But I was like, yeah, I mean, he fucking lived it all. Like World War II, to coming back to becoming like a comic book writer. I think that's what he said he wanted to be for like when he was younger. And just
can you imagine that, like
seeing
growing up in the 40s and 50s and like, but having that type of like imagination in your head of like, you know, creating something. Just, I mean, what was the earliest superhero, I guess, before?
I think it was Superman.
Right?
I think he was the very first.
Like, I don't know, just to have that type of like, that's what you want to do with your life as a child or as a kid or just being young. You know, that's so crazy to me, especially in those times.
I mean, he did wonders with his writing and with the characters that he created. Like, obviously, Captain America is supposed to be like DC is Superman. Like, he's the ideal person, like always does the right thing, always
the patriot.
Exactly, he's the patriot. He was the face of World War II and like all this other stuff. Like it was, he did that, and then he went to like my favorite fictional character of all time. Because if you think about the humanity side of like the character of Spider-Man, like him having all this responsibility and being like, you know what, he's not too big for his britches, but like he always has to go out there and do the right thing, and also like risks his personal life at the hands of him trying to deal with trying to be a good guy and trying to save everybody else. Like it tears his relationships apart with his aunt and with his girlfriends, and it's just I just love that whole side. And
do you know? I mean, I don't know how much research you have, or like, do you know him? Because I don't know, but like when Spider-Man was first created, was he always a kid, like a teen or young? You know?
Yeah, he was like 18, 19.
Okay, so even just being like a kid and so much power and like, you know what I mean? That is very intense.
Yeah, and with great power comes great responsibility, and that like speaks volumes.
I guess I want to like. What are your I mean, I guess Spider-Man is your favorite,
hands down, my favorite fictional character ever written
across all platforms.
Because of that case. Because like he was an average kid, like an average Joe like us. He was just really smart, was good at physics, was good at science, and did everything himself. He didn't rely on anybody. Like he was there to save the Bronx and Manhattan and New York. Like he's just an everyday guy. That's why I liked that. Like there was other layers, but Spider-Man hands down is my favorite character.
And he's just super fucking cool.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got quips.
Can't beat that.
He's quippy, and he's hey, who are you gonna hurt me with that little knife? Like you know, like it's just something I would say.
Yeah.
I could totally relate with that character.
Definitely. And you, what do you think?
Just Captain America. Like ever since I was little, like the fucking shield. And there was a time when like my childhood was like not based upon like 9/11, but like it was the big event like when I was younger, and I was like, yeah, it was American ideals and American this, America that, like for a long time. So who better to represent that than Captain America? And it was just like, I want to be that. Like, you know, I want to do the whole American dream thing, and I don't know. That's just like he was like the embodiment of that, and I was like, yeah. And then it kind of shifted over to like the Punisher,
because he's just a fucking stone cold badass.
Yeah. But it's just like Captain America for sure, and Punisher like close second.
I think like from the jump, I always liked like the random, like they weren't never like the anchors and like shows or anything, but like I said, Gambit, like when I watched the animated X-Men series and stuff, and Gambit like with the cool fucking cloak and the staff and like the cards and stuff, like he was so cool to me. Like as a kid, I don't even know like what he was or who he was, but I was like, dude, this guy's so cool, like so random, you know what I mean? Like and then like when I saw the movies or even in the shows, like Nightcrawler was a weird character too to me, like his power that he could just like teleport in specific little areas, you know, while he's fighting and stuff, like just the weird ones. Like I always like the weird types of powers and the weird like characters and stuff. Like that stuff always like even in like I don't know if you ever saw Star Trek for a little bit, like not the newer ones with Sir Patrick Stewart, but the older ones. There was this character named Data. I don't know if you know. Like Data, he would just like he was an android, but like he would get information of all kinds of things and just tell you like there's an episode where they land on this planet or something, and they ask him like, oh, what's this water contain or whatever, and he literally just walks into the ocean, like walks into the water right where they land, goes underwater and comes out, and he starts telling them like, oh, you can't go here, like this is toxic or whatever. Like what kind, I don't know, it's so cool. Like who thinks about these characters? Like I like weird characters like that, so I think like Gambit and Nightcrawler, just the weird ones, you know. And
going back to Stan Lee, like it's just like you said, it's kind of amazing to have so many ideas and just the drive to put it down on paper and make it happen. And of course, he has a lot of help along the way.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's just like it starts with somebody, you know.
Yeah.
And
that sparks all the others to want to take on this type of work. And
because when I was younger, the Harry Potter movies were like the pinnacle of like my like cinema. Like this is a series I want to watch forever. And now it's Marvel movies. Like no matter how crazy they get or like how convoluted or whatever, like you know it's gonna be a good movie if it's a Marvel movie. maybe not Venom, but
Even aesthetically, like just watching it, like that's what I liked about the Harry Potter movies. Like it was just aesthetically pleasing to watch. Like it was like, oh man, this is so nicely detailed,
And like even though I haven't read any of the comics, I feel like I know the Marvel characters like on screen pretty well, just because of the universe that they've built and the backstory that Stan Lee created is what inspires everything that they do now. So it sounds cliche, but like that's a big fucking thank you from me to him, because that was like it's shaping like the way that I consume entertainment, and especially like Marvel movies. And it's crazy to think about, like one person can have that but much of an impact.
Yeah.
So as far as nerddom, I guess, or nerd culture, is he the oldest? Or was he like the pioneer?
Jesus is kind of old.
Oh,
and he's fake too. So I'm just
shit.
But like seriously, is he like he's one of the creators of like nerd culture and
yeah, I think he brought it into the mainstream, or like quote unquote.
I wonder where nerd and geek like originated. Was that just the smart kid at first? Like,
the kids who read the comic books and the ones who collectors.
I mean, if you want to be like,
was Disney before?
Yeah,
because I mean that's cartoons and like animation and stuff like.
Yeah, but I guess if you want to think about back to like the olden days, where like Homer, the story of like the Odyssey or whatever the fuck, like all those Hercules and mythical stuff. But I think back then it was more of a story to tell, like have a meaning behind, rather than just entertainment. So I don't know, but for modern times, I think he was like him and Walt Disney. One with animation, one with like comics and stuff.
I feel like the comic thing is more like self-reflecting and like pleasurable to his own mind, when I feel Disney was kind of more business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But everything Disney was, and even to this day, everything's so dark, like at the beginning. And then you see the other side.
Wasn't he like a Nazi sympathizer or something?
I don't know.
Or it was something crazy like that. Or maybe it was just like that whole like myth. Because there's like the whole myth also that there's like a secret cellar under Disney World that has heads. Walt Disney's head is in like in a jar, like kind of Futurama type.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And he's just waiting for technology to catch up so he can be alive again.
That's crazy. I hope that's true. I hope that's
They made fun of it like on Robot Chicken and like stuff like that. I've seen that. A random tangent, or not random, it's irrelevant, but did you ever see that show through Stan Lee, Excelsior? Was it called Excelsior? Of that superhero show?
Like what they were trying to make a new superhero or something?
Yeah, basically like people would come in and like they would have their ideas, but they would have to make their costumes and stuff and wear them and explain who their superhero was to Stan Lee. And Stan Lee would be the judge of like, well, that's cool. Like, what's his power? Like, why does he fight for the good or stuff like that? And I think it was called Excelsior, and it was like on Sci-Fi, I think. And Stan Lee would be like, hey, heroes, like whatever. And then he'd be like, let's see who's in the challenge for today, and try to come up. And like it was like, I was in maybe middle school or something like when this came out. My brother told me about it. I've always had the older brother who was like he'd always go deep into like, oh, this hero's this because he does this stuff, and like he's connected with this person because he was always like the guy who like the theory stuff, like, oh, this goes through this and stuff. And so when he found the show, I was like, dude, what the heck? So we just watch it like as a ritual. Like, dude, imagine that was the next hero. And there was some pretty ridiculous heroes. Like, I don't know, I can't even remember, but it was just a cool show, and Stan Lee was the main host. Like,
so you're saying my hero Spatula Hands Man was not a good idea? He's just like,
you're what?
Spatula Hands Man, he would just like flip you over. Yeah.
I've never heard of that. I'm so confused.
I just made it up. I'm sorry.
Oh, you should check it out. I mean, I'm sure it's probably cheesy now, but it was cool. Like that was like one of around the times when I started discovering like, oh, Stan Lee, like he's the creator of all these superheroes. Like now I know.
See, I heard he was Bruce Lee's brother.
Great. Who was that about? Oh, that was on Ryan Reynolds and Burt Reynolds, right? How they're fucking father and son.
Poor guy. I have a prediction though.
What's up?
So in the trailer for Captain Marvel, have you seen it?
The first one that came out.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
Where
think
she like breaks through into a blockbuster.
Yeah, I don't think there's been
Prediction. Stanley is in the store and he's like, I don't know. I predict that he's going to be in that scene.
more. Like he's like the.
She breaks into a blockbuster,
or she crashes.
She crash lands into a blockbuster.
Because it's based in the 90s.
Yeah.
That makes a lot more sense, right?
I'm like, what's going on? What? That's crazy. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do like the security, not security guard, but like the
cashier, the
store manager or something. Cause
probably right.
It finds her in the morning,
or just the video guy who's putting away videos, and he's probably putting away like
he's got his headphones on, just
jamming something.
Like that Spider-Man. Yeah.
Did he came out in the Deadpool one, right?
Yeah.
Where
in the first one he was at the strip club. He was the DJ at the strip club. And the second one
was it with the phone booth or whatever?
He says, "Hey, way to go, Deadpool!" And Deadpool says, "Like, shut up, Stanley."
It just completely breaks the fourth wall and like everything. Just like
yeah.
Oh, that's so good, bro. Like,
I can't wait. I'm super excited, dude. I'm super hyped for 2019. We already have a release month for Game of Thrones. We have Captain Marvel in March. In May, we have Avengers 5, the whatever they're going to title it.
Is it 5 or 4?
5? 4?
4. I think it's 4.
Avengers 4. What else is coming out in 2019?
we need to watch these and then talk about them. That'd be cool.
Like what?
The films, those movies.
Oh yeah. I've already watched them all.
No, I'm saying like the new ones that are gonna come out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Should do a review series.
Detective Pikachu.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! That looks so good.
I don't know how I feel about it. It looks good.
It looks pleasing, but then
I don't like the realistic Pokemon. They kind of scare me.
No, dude,
I like
think
that.
They're so fucking cool.
Yeah, it is so cool. It's like, I mean,
they nailed it.
Yeah, they did nail it because like I don't think some of those Pokemon would if it was real life they wouldn't look pleasing. Like it would be like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. I don't know if you've seen like a long time ago there was some guy that drew like if Pokemon were realistic, and it was just like hyper realistic.
Was there like a Blastoise and like a Venusaur?
Yeah, and they're all kind of like creepy and stuff.
Yeah, fleshy and like
yeah. Well, the artist that drew those, he got a job with this movie.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm guessing most of the art is based on his like illustrations.
Look and feel.
I like that. I don't know how I feel about Ryan Reynolds though as the voice for.
I get within
Pikachu.
2 seconds. I was like, okay,
That's
I'm
Ryan
down.
Reynolds. Yeah.
I'm down.
Really?
I'm super into it. Yep.
You too?
I wasn't that into it. I'm just like, oh, that's Ryan Reynolds. But like it just threw me off. Like if it was somebody,
I don't know. That's
if they wanted to get Danny DeVito to do the voice, which I think would have been worse.
yeah.
But funnier.
With Joe Pesci, that would have been cool.
Oh man, I miss Joe Pesci.
This fucking wise guy.
Yeah, Joe Pesci's fucking funny. He's a hothead, and that would have been funny. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I can't say anything.
I'm super excited because when I was watching the trailer, there's so many Easter eggs in there. Like there's it's like kind of like the UFC where it's like Charizard versus Blastoise or Charizard versus I think it was like Slowbro or whatever.
Yeah.
And in his room he has a Rayquaza thing on his wall, and I'm like, they're building the world, so all these Pokemon exist. It's just they have to show them off later. Mm-hmm. But like if you think about it, like this could be like an intro to a new series that they're trying to do. Like, all right, Detective Pikachu has his angle. What if they do like a after credit scene,
the Blastoise gang,
or the Squirtle gang?
Squirtle gang, sorry,
with the glasses.
Squirtle gang.
They could do that, and then they can even like maybe they do like a
Team Rocket.
Well, they can introduce Team Rocket, but like after the credit scene, what if they introduce like Ash or Brock or Misty?
Yeah,
and then they can actually do a whole series. Now that it's believable,
who's playing Ash?
It would probably, dude. I wouldn't doubt that. What was the name of the guy?
Danny DeVito?
No, from Scott Pilgrim.
Michael Cera.
Michael Cera. I wouldn't doubt that it's Michael Cera.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
he just dye his hair.
And then Brock would be Tyler Lautner.
I was thinking about that too.
William Valderrama.
Or Wilmer Valderrama?
Wilmer. My bad, William. Misty.
They would have to make him young, though.
Emma Stone.
Are we just naming people from like the early 2000s?
I mean,
like there's so many actors now that I'm just like.
I don't know. I'm just trying to picture people who look. I guess would look the part from the animated show.
I mean, it's gonna be some like 15-year-old or something, because that's their age in the series, and they're gonna go. Yeah.
They did
The Rock as Brock.
That'd be cool. I'd be like, like they could do that, and I would be like, all right, that's cool.
I mean, even if they do like Kevin Hart as Ash, just to keep The Rock and Kevin Hart together again, in another movie,
Yeah.
and Karen Gillan again, bring her back from Jumanji, like that trio from Jumanji.
Oh yeah.
That'd be pretty funny. I would like that.
Kevin Spacey is Giovanni.
Oh no! Kevin Spacey's dead.
He's not. He just came in a movie. His career's
What? Because that whole.
I mean,
he touches boys,
But he's gay.
but he's not gay.
All right. Well,
Just little boys' butts drive him nuts.
speaking of like unreleased, these hints towards unreleased films for the future and stuff. They did the Toy Story 4.
it's
It's gonna be coming out.
I like the teaser with Michael
Key and Peele.
Yeah. You didn't see that one?
Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
It's like 15 seconds long or like 20 seconds long. It's just like him as a stuffed animal, and then Peele is a bunny, and they're just like, oh my god, like typical Key and Peele shit.
Yeah. That's
it
so
looks
dope.
good.
I love the Toy Story films, dude. They're so awesome.
Yeah, and I kind of want to. I mean, I really don't know what the movies are about because they're just doing teasers right now. But I think it's like different kind of toys, like the carnival toys, and there's a spork in the first one.
Yeah. And he's saying, "I'm not a toy." Like,
yeah,
But it was created with a kid's imagination. That's why they're saying like, oh, there's other things. They're gonna introduce other things.
oh, okay. Because like me as a child, like just playing with a stick, and it was, you know what I mean?
To you, it was a sword.
Yeah, stuff like that. That makes sense.
So I mean, it's like you said, like you feel like a man child because like it's just these things that are pushed towards like kids basically. But I'm so fucking excited.
Yeah. I think it's way more accepted now compared to like people from past generations with movies that they grew up with, and they release like remakes of them, and they're kind of like they don't express themselves like we do, I guess.
Well, speaking of remakes, like there's so many remakes coming out also with, I mean, sequels with like Toy Story. It's not really a remake, but they're remaking their Grinch. I don't think it's out already. It's like they really need another Grinch movie. I think
every generation
is it animated?
Need one.
Yeah, it's animated.
I love Jim
cool.
Carrey as a Grinch in that.
Never seen it.
No, it's so funny, dude. So good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty dope.
Tyler, the creator, made some. I don't know if he made the whole thing, but he made some of the soundtrack music for this Grinch movie.
For this one?
Yeah.
And what else are they remaking?
Aladdin, and I think isn't Will Smith playing the genie?
Yeah.
Right? In Aladdin.
Oh man,
They're making Dumbo too. I saw the trailer.
yeah, there we go.
Already.
That's
Like,
another one I saw.
that's the one I was.
And
thinking
then
about too.
The Lion King, which I hadn't seen anything on it until somebody grouped all the pictures together, and then I saw The Lion King, and I was like, oh wow, they're remaking The Lion King, and
Who's
the
gonna
lion
be-
looks fierce.
Not Mufasa. Yeah, Mufasa. Who's gonna be Mufasa?
Danny DeVito.
Is what's his name? Is he reprising his role? What? I can't remember his name. Mufasa. I'll look it up. Go ahead, Vamp.
Isn't Gilbert Godfrey coming back for that bird? What's it called? The toucan. No, it's not a toucan.
The bird? Iago?
Yeah.
No, that's from Aladdin.
That's from Aladdin. That's what I don't know.
What do you think about Will Smith as?
I mean, if anybody can do it, Will Smith can do it.
Oh yeah,
But I just don't know if the whole, kind of like with the Joker, with when Heath Ledger died, they were just like, nobody can be the Joker now. And I don't know if it's gonna be the same thing with the genie.
well, I mean, it's gonna be animated, of course, right?
Yeah,
You think?
I mean, was it? Because I know the Lion King's gonna be like live action.
Ish, yeah.
So I don't know.
So Robin Williams was the genie, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if people are not gonna want to give up the mantle from Robin Williams and give it to Will Smith, no matter how good he does.
I feel like Will Smith can kill it, dude. He can, and in film, he can transform himself pretty well and make you believe whatever, make you buy into whatever he's trying to portray.
Yeah,
And I think he can do it with his voice. I think he can do it. You don't think he can?
I
on film?
want to believe, but every time I watch Will Smith in a movie, I'm like, it's Fresh Prince. He's just being emo right now. That's Fresh Prince right now. I've never believed him in any other film.
Like I Am Legend. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just
That-
it's Will Smith alone.
that was good to me. That was real good to me. And then I mean, Concussion. I don't know if you saw that one.
Oh, with the yeah.
That one made me cry.
You must tell the truth. Something like that. When he's like
The doctor?
yeah.
Oh wait, I'm thinking about a different one. I haven't seen that one. But there's another one where it's just I don't know. I love Will Smith.
You had told me that there was a movie that
You
I
and
should
Ricky?
watch. Yeah, that you and Ricky had seen. What was it called?
I forgot. That's the one I'm talking about with Will Smith, and it's
Does
like
it have Margot Robbie in it? No, that's Focus, right?
Suicide Squad.
Not Suicide Squad. It was another one.
okay. Oh, okay. Now we're taking out Suicide Squad. Not that.
That's a horrible movie.
If Shaq can fucking kill it on what is that movie called? Where he's like a
superhero?
isn't he like a genie?
Oh.
Where he grants wishes and stuff.
I don't remember.
Kazam or
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, probably.
if he can kill it on that, my homie Will Smith can kill it.
The homie.
Because I watched that movie with Shaq and I liked it as a kid. It was funny.
I mean, this is The Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. After Earth is pretty bad. He's good in these movies that are pretty bad, so I guess I'll give him that. Like no matter, I don't think the latter movie is gonna be too bad, or it shouldn't be too bad. But
I don't think it'll be bad at all. I think it'll be good. I'm actually excited to
Was
watch
it 7 pounds
No,
with Will Smith?
no, but I've seen that.
Collateral
That's
Beauty?
Collateral Beauty, I think. But 7 pounds is good too. It's an older movie of him, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's intense.
yeah,
Did y'all ever see Bright on Netflix?
I did see
I
it.
did.
What'd you think?
I thought it was good.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
I was about to bring it up too.
It's like racism, right?
In a different world, or like in the future world, like in a future setting, and there's ghouls and goblins and weird shit. Like, or is it
Yeah.
just goblins, right? Or what is it?
It's goblins. I think so. Yeah.
Goblins and mankind, but like human. It's like humans towards goblins.
And there's elves. Like there's like
yeah.
It's really interesting, and I guess it touches on racism a little bit, but it's not like it's still a mythical story.
It's mythical racism in that
Yeah.
world, but I think they're trying to talk about our issues right now in humanity, but they did it in a sci-fi way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I really like it. It's good. You should watch it.
A couple weeks ago, they announced that they're doing Bad Boys 3. I love Bad Boys 1 and 2.
Yeah, Bad Boys is
hands
awesome.
down, it's
Martin
fucking
Lawrence
awesome.
is fucking funny to me, dude. And them two grouped together, they're dope. I just hope they don't sacrifice just for a joke, like trying to make modern day-ish comedy just to hit a younger audience. You know what I mean? And I hope they just stick to their dynamic because they're just funny together, bro. I love it. I love them.
I remember a few years ago also they had announced, and it's totally dead now, but I wish they would have fucking made it. Is like they were supposed to do a Men in Black 4 crossover with 21 Jump Street, and Will Smith was on board.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck, like it would have been Jonah Hill and
That would have been funny.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum.
The new Men in Black is gonna be Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson.
Oh, you mean R.I.P.D. too?
What?
What?
Did y'all ever see R.I.P.D.?
No.
The Rest in Peace Department?
Oh, with
Ryan Reynolds?
with Ryan Reynolds.
And what's that?
From
True Grit.
It's a guy from
Country guy. Is he the Big Lebowski?
yeah. Dude, why are we Why are we talking about movies and blanking about every fucking actor?
don't know.
Every detail is super annoying.
I know, but well, you never saw R.I.P.D.?
No.
It was bad.
It was bad.
With Jeff Bridges?
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go,
Bridges.
Jeff.
Yeah,
It was bad, bro.
he was Jeff Bridges'
It's
character.
it's like a Men in Black
Yeah.
ripoff.
Yeah, Jeff Bridges' character, like you see him, but he's actually like an old Asian man in his outside appearance because they look like each other, but to other people they look like other people.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I think Jeff
Like
Bridges
they're wearing them as skins. Like
Yeah, I think Jeff Bridges was just like a hot girl, and Ryan Reynolds' character was like an Asian dude,
Yeah.
like old Asian guy.
yeah,
And then he tries to go see his wife, and there's just like an old Asian guy watching her through the window.
because they die in the movie and they become a part of the Rest in Peace Department and they fight monsters and dead like ghosts and shit. But it's
I see.
It's like a ripoff of Men in Black.
That's
because
why
it's
it sucked.
It's bad.
Yeah.
You think Ryan Reynolds' wittiness and fucking is gonna save the movie, but it fucking doesn't.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with Ryan Reynolds. You get that.
I love Jeff Bridges though.
I saw. I've seen. Speaking of Ryan Reynolds, let me get off movie topics. I think, but the Hitman's Bodyguard.
Never seen it.
Never seen it either.
I think it's on Netflix. You guys should watch it. It's really good. It's fucking hilarious.
Is that with
Samuel
Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was trying. I watched a little bit of it, but I haven't finished it.
It's really good.
And Samuel Jackson is just like,
he's a hitman. So
Yeah.
Just being Sam Jackson.
but he's like a badass or whatever, and like
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is supposed to take
Yeah.
look over him.
He was a bodyguard, and now they're after him, and now Ryan Reynolds is being his bodyguard.
And I think what makes it even funnier is that Ryan Reynolds was like the top security like firm, and Samuel L. Jackson's character kills Ryan Reynolds' top client, so he loses all his clients after that. But then now he has to protect them.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny.
And isn't it like Samuel Jackson constantly trying to like they got you taking care of me, man, and like whatever, and he's always like ahead of him, like he's better at him and stuff and shit like that.
Do your best Samuel L. Jackson impression.
I'm tired of these these goddamn snakes on this goddamn plane.
Oh man!
Quick poll: you tired of these goddamn snakes on this goddamn plane? Let us know.
Quick.
I saw something that was pretty funny. This is dude in Japan. He married a hologram, and it's like the hologram is Hatsune Miku, which is like a pop star in Japan, basically. So it's a hologram that travels all over Japan and like does little songs. And yeah, he just married her.
It's not. I'm not even trying to say this in any like. I don't mean anything by it. I'm just saying I'm not surprised that it's somebody from.
Well, he said,
Asian descent. Like it's not. It's
well, this guy said that he's not attracted to women in any sort of the sense of the word, and he just feels like a strong connection with this character, and more specifically, he has like an Alexa type machine in his home.
And then talk to it.
Yeah.
Does it talk back to it? Does it respond to him?
I don't know, but it's like the Alexa, but it's Hatsune Miku, like the character. Hatsune Miku. So
I'm sorry.
So he married that specific one. Like he knows there's other ones out there, but he's married to this specific machine.
I hate to have to ask, but like, did they have to consummate the marriage?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, he had a life size, not life size, but like a little, small little doll that he took to the ceremony because he had an actual wedding with like 40 people there, and he bought rings for each other.
That's so gross.
Yeah. And he said that he was getting rejected and bullied by other women. So
I don't know why I'm laughing. Like the first time you mentioned it to me, I laughed out loud because it was fucking funny to me. Like it's not that it's ridiculous to me; it's just funny to me. Like thinking about that because there's been other things where people like, oh, someone wanted to marry like a balloon animal.
Yeah, somebody married like the Eiffel Tower or something like that too. Something ridiculous. Like, I mean, if it makes you happy, I guess, but
but I don't know.
Why?
Like, I'm not gonna judge either, but it's just like it's weird. It's funny to talk about because there are people. There was a show of people who are obsessed or love certain things. There's a guy who loved balloons, and his entire house was just filled with balloons and like inflatable stuff, like inflatable dolphins that you can float on the water, and he would sleep with it in his bed and like cuddle with it, and he said he just loved the feeling of it like on his skin. It was crazy. Like it's not crazy, it's just weird. It's just like I don't know,
people got weird kinks, dude.
People are into some stuff, like, but as far as going to marry something, like I don't know.
Yeah.
What does that do for you?
I don't know. I think because it's like his mom was like pressuring him to like meet women and stuff like that, but since he gets rejected so much and like bullied so much by women, like he's just like, I don't find them attractive anymore, and I want to marry something, and this is the thing that makes me happiness. So why not marry the thing that makes
2019 # respect, man. Or else don't marry some fucking holograms. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean,
rights,
and it's especially interesting with Japan because I think it was like something like 30% of men over 50 are not married over there, which with their population, like it's a big fucking number.
They did that to themselves though. Like restricting childbirth. Isn't that one of the countries that restricts childbirth?
I don't know. I think China's the one you're thinking about.
China.
Well, I mean, even then, let's just say whatever the statistic is in China too. But like, imagine like somebody controlling or saying having the say so. I mean, it's for the greater good in a sense of like it is overpopulated. But imagine somebody coming in and saying like, you know what? It almost affects your intimate value with a person.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you start to think about I mean, I fucking can't even get turned on and without thinking about like, we got to be careful. We might, you know what I mean? Like. I get turned on with the thought of getting turned on. Jesus.
You fucking suck, dude.
Oh, shit. That's a weird topic. What were you going to talk about? Now that I brought up Kazam with Shaq, did you say something about with Shaq? Something happened in the headlines with Shaq? Something about toes or something?
No, it's from last week's episode.
We talked about that?
Yeah.
Wow, I don't remember.
Thanks for watching the episode, dude. I appreciate
I was only in it.
No, just how like I was talking about Shaq's big dick or.
Oh yeah. Hey, I started watching. Speaking of this, from the last episode, I started watching the Adam Sandler special.
Yeah, what did you think about it so far?
Dude.
If you're listening to the audio version, he's just mimicking Adam Sandler, making faces.
I hate it already.
No, it's not. In his special, like in the actual jokes, there's not much of that. It's in between the scenes, the songs and stuff is where he does that shit. But it's
he sings in this one.
Yeah,
he does,
fuck it.
He does.
No,
he does a lot of singing.
Great.
Fuck that.
It's really good. It's
really good.
It's really good,
especially the rap portions.
Yes. I've only seen one rap portion. I haven't finished it all, but no, yeah, I was watching it like. The first one I saw was about the Uber driver, the Uber car or whatever, and he's like, "Oh, I shit myself. I guess it was me that smells."
Yeah,
dude. No, yeah, it was good. But honestly, I cringed when he was doing the. I was kind of like
that's transitional.
Exactly, it's just transitional, but he does it, and I know, and he knows, and the people know that he's known for it, so his audience is accepting of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So in my head, I was like, okay, like that's his thing.
And he was playing like the old grumpy, dude, yelling me in the street or whatever, like chasing you with his finger.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I still really recommend you guys watching the.
Yeah. It's cool. I like it. I liked it. I need to finish it, but.
You liked it so much that you haven't even finished it. That's how good it was.
I was falling asleep last night. Anyway, I mean,
so
another thing though, I mean, it's gonna be like a Stanley thing, or like he's getting old. Adam Sandler's getting old too. You know what I mean? But as a child, I watched a lot of his films too, and it just makes me think of like memories of me with my siblings and stuff, and we'd all watch Adam Sandler movies. You know what I mean? Together, and like we all knew all the jokes, and even all that stuff. Like we liked it. You know, we would fucking laugh and crack up at it. Like it just makes me think of a different time, you know.
Yeah,
I heard that there's a little tribute to Chris Farley at the end.
I don't know yet. I haven't seen.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I really didn't watch Chris Farley things like we mentioned like in the first or second episode, but I thought it was super sweet, and it was it was pretty good. I liked it. It made me tear up a little bit. Like, we're not gonna lie.
I just want to talk about this before we're still on the Adam Sandler thing because I brought it up. But there's a point where he's doing a song. They started off with he has a guy on the piano with him, and the guy fucks up, and he's like, "What was that?" And he's like, "I fucked up," and he's like, "You can't fuck up." He's like, "I'm the Sandman, right?" And he's like, "All right, let's start it up from the top." And they go again, right? And then Adam Sandler fucks up, and he's like, "Oh shit, I fucked up," right? And everybody cracks up, and he's like, "The Sandman don't fuck up." He's like, "You know what? Let's just get away from that." It was just funny to me.
Yeah, I like he calls himself the Sandman throughout the whole special.
Yeah, the Sandman.
Because he puts people to sleep.
Oh,
whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna get into this. Speaking of childhood memories and how Adam Sandler reminded me of childhood memories, we had a comment on our latest episode from Jason Quintana on our YouTube video.
Hey, shout out to Jason.
Shout out to Jason. He asked, what are some funny stories or childhood memories? He wanted us to talk about some childhood memories. So shout out to you, Jason Quintana. Thanks for submitting that question. So what are some good or bad or funny, scary childhood memories that you guys may have?
A good one was just spending summers in Mexico with my cousins. Like, I remember just driving down from Corpus when we used to live over there, like a 3-hour drive, and just like being like, I don't want to go to Mexico and just spend the summer over there. And then like I met my cousins from Monterrey. We would meet there, and not Monterrey, but like here close by, and just playing like Nintendo 64, hide and seek, just bullshit that kids play when they were little, and it was always super fun. Like,
what part of Mexico would y'all?
Here in Tamaulipas, like in Rio Grande.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was just staying at my aunt's house and like their grandma, and just playing hide and seek, playing Nintendo 64, like I said, just eating junk food, going outside playing soccer and shit. Like, it was just always like 4 or 5 of us just hanging out.
Yeah,
you know,
hating that the day had to end.
Yeah, I mean, we like sleep over at each other's houses, or like that house. So we'll spend like a month with them, and it was just always fucking great. But yeah, like, I don't know, just like those things where like you kind of go back into your memories. And just like, back then I was like, yeah, it's always gonna be like this. But now now that it isn't, like, I haven't seen them in a while. Yeah, you're like, damn, I miss that.
Yeah, I actually have 2 childhood memories that one just came up right now, if anything, when you're talking about this, hanging out with cousins and stuff. Well, the first one though, funny enough, my brother recently tagged me in like a very cheesy, like, I love him to death, but it's very cheesy. It's like a very cheesy family post thing of like, it's like a mug and it says like, oh, it's about brotherhood, like, oh, you're my brother and all that stuff. And I didn't like it, but I was like, okay, but you can't fucking talk to me on the phone. You want to do this on social media? You know what I mean?
Just to get likes.
It deals with my brother, and it's funny. It recently came up, and then we wanted to. Jason Quintana submitted this question, and I'm like, you know what? I started thinking, and a great memory that I have with my brother. It's probably not great actually when I think about it, but I mean, he's my older brother. I always wanted to tag along with him and hang out with him and stuff, right? And he was hanging out with some neighbor of mine, right? Like neighborhood friends of ours, but of his. I just happened to tag along with them. They were older than me all the time. We're in our backyard, and we got on the roof of our shed. Well, they got on the roof of the shed, and then I wanted to get on. And my brother said, like, no, you're going to get hurt. Like, you're too young, you're too small or whatever. Like, you're going to get hurt. You don't want to come up here. And I kept wanting to go up there. And so I got up there, right? And I'm up there and stuff. And the neighbor, one of the twins, he jumps down. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. He jumped down. He made it or whatever. And my brother was like, dude, don't jump down. Like, he was telling me, I remember, like, don't jump down. You're going to hurt yourself. And I was like, ah. And I jumped down, and I literally fractured my left wrist. Like, it fractures. And I'm instant crying. I'm just crying, right? My brother jumps down and he's like, fuck. And like, he picks me up, and my mom's like coming outside, and she would like tender. She would like put the clothes to dry. Yeah, the clothesline to dry. And my brother's hiding me from my mom.
But you're like waiting. Like,
I'm crying though. And he was like, shh, like covering me up. And he's like, she's going to find out. She's going to get mad. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking dying. I thought I was dying. You know what I mean? Like, it hurt so bad. And he was hiding me, and he was like looking around, and I was just like, stopping. He's like, I could tell, like, I'm sure from his side of the story, he's gonna be like, dude, I don't know what to do. Like, if I show him to my parents, like, they're gonna beat me, or you know what I mean, they're gonna get mad at me. If I don't show him, he might die. You know? So of course he was like, all right, well, I'm gonna have to.
I guess you're gonna die.
Yeah, I guess you're gonna die there. Now we're like, we went inside, and we talked to my parents, and my parents were super pissed. Mind this, before they take me to the hospital to get checked out, I'm there with a broken wrist, and like my face is red, and I'm like crying, and they're just like, that's why you guys, they're like giving us a lesson first. That's why you guys shouldn't be getting on the shed, like, first off, like, and why didn't you show him to us earlier or whatever? I'm still there, like, can we go and get this fixed?
Did they put Vicks on it?
Yeah, they put Vicks and gave me caldo with a Sprite. Now, well, like, this came up, right, because also, like, they have memes of this, of like, you, like, the whole brother thing, like, hits the brother and then shut up, mom's gonna hear, don't cry, she's gonna hear, like stuff like that. And it was literally the epitome of that. And I was just like, every time I think about that, this is my perspective, he has a different side to the story, but that's one memory I have of like a childhood memory.
Yeah, similar to that, I remember we got one of those inflatable pools, but like you inflate the top and then you put water in and it kind of goes up. It was like a 2-foot deep pool. And I was like in the backyard in the pool, just going around in circles around the edge of it, underwater. And then mom comes out with my little sister, and I think she's like 1 or something at the time. And she's like, yeah, your sister wants to get in the pool, but you have to take care of her. I was like, but mom, I'm swimming. And it was just me walking around like the thing. And she's like, oh, she's going to be in her little like kid floaty. So just make sure she doesn't like fall down. I was like, okay. So I'm just like sitting in there with her. She's 1, so of course she doesn't like talk or much. I'm just like, boring ass bitch.
So when your brother watches this on his big screen,
oh my god, she's the one, so she doesn't talk much. She doesn't talk at all. This is the thing.
So I was like, whatever. I just left her in the middle. She's like splashing around, doing her thing, and I'm going around in circles again, right? And I'm just like underwater, so I can't really like see her or like pay too much attention to her. And then like I stop and I hear it's like splashing. I was like, oh, man, well, she's having a good time. And like I look over like underwater, and she's underwater just like splashing like this. Oh, so I go up, pick her up, and like she's like coughing up water and stuff. And I'm like, oh shit. And I was like, stop. And I was just like patting her in the back, trying to get all the water out. My mom comes out like, what happened? It's like, I don't know. And then I told her after, and I was like, okay. And I remember another time I kind of picked her up too hard when she was like a baby, and I dislocated her arm.
Oh shit, dude! How fast do you pick somebody up? You dislocate their arm.
I think okay. So I think she was in like the baby seat, car seat, and like the strap was still one of her arms, but not the other one. So I picked her up. I kind of didn't see the strap, and it kind of just like pushed her down. So I think that's what happened. But yeah, like on the same token of like your older brother, because I'm an older brother, hurting the younger one, I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah,
like, do I tell my parents or I'm fucked either way? So
yeah,
I'd rather just get this fixed. Like, here you go.
Yeah. Do you have any childhood memories?
I have one that involved. It's not funny. It's just how stupid I was as a child. I was in the 4th grade, and we were on holiday break. So from Christmas past New Year's or whatever. And it was like the first actual day of like the Christmas break. So earlier in the year, my dad had made me for GT. We had to make like armor for because we were doing like knights and history and stuff like that. So my dad had made me this whole like armor set. And I'm like, fuck, I had lost the helmet. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make myself a helmet. So my dad had a bunch of like, he would collect boxes, that way we could put the gifts in and then we could wrap them, whatever. Well, I grabbed a box and it was like the perfect size for my head. So I slid it on my head. I'm like, this is perfect. So I started like, okay, here are my eyes. So for the audio listener, I'm like trying to measure my head inside this box. And so I go, I'm like, all right, cool, I got this. So I went to the living room. I went to the kitchen. I went to the junk drawer and I pull out a box cutter. And it's one of those little plastic ones. It just like click, 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 click. And the blade is like this long, about like 9 inches long. And so I go and I shove it through the box and it hits me right on the eyebrow. And I'm like, oh, that was dumb. I should take it off. So I take the knife out of the box and then I like lower down the blade a little bit. I'm like, okay. So I put the box, my arm through the box and I like reach in there and I start sawing. And it was a pretty cold day. And I just felt like all this warmth on my arm. And I'm like, what the hell is that? And so I look and there's a giant puddle of blood on my lap. And I'm like, oh no. I pulled the box off and I had slit my wrist from the top. I have a 2-inch scar on my wrist.
Oh my God.
So it hit, boom. And I just kept cutting. And so I slit my wrist open and it was just me and my sister in the house because my parents went to go work on a float for the elementary school. So I run to my sister's room, and the funny thing about my sister's doorknob was like it was locked. She would always lock her door, but you would twist it 3 times, like click, 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 and it would unlock. Like I figured that out on my own. So I opened the door and I'm like, Denise. Denise. And she's like, what? And I show her my wrist, and it's open, and there's like fat coming out, and she just freaks the fuck out, and she starts crying. She like grabs my arm and like pulls it over my head. She's like, she doesn't know that she's holding me by the arm, running around with me in the air while she's running around. And she goes into my mom's closet and she pulls out. My mom had this like big bag of like just rags to like clean the house. She pulls out a long like tube sock and like wraps it around my wrist and like calls my mom. There's no cell phones at this elementary.
Yeah.
Or my parents don't have cell phones. She had to call the front desk of the elementary school and tell like, hey, mom, like,
how old were you and how old was she? Because
that's
that's like
fourth grade, so maybe
that's some fucking like
9,
the
10?
capacity to like, oh shit, I gotta, you have to call these people and
I don't know how old you are.
Know
in the
how to
fourth
do
grade.
that.
Yeah, and it just freaked me out. Like my sister's always been into like blood and guts and stuff like that. She's always been cool with that stuff. She's even had to pull like a cat that's been massacred by the car engine out
God,
in pieces, and she was not affected at all. But yeah, so she like held my wrist and she was freaking out. She was just like applying pressure, and like the sock was like filling with blood.
Oh no!
And she's just holding me up, and I'm freaking out because she's freaking out. So I'm like crying like a little bitch. And then my parents show up. They take me to the clinic there in Elsa, and I just remember like staring at it, like looking into it, and it was like open. You could see like my bone, and like there was fat in there, and I barely missed a vein when after looking at it. And they had to get like this giant syringe and like had to clean it out so the guy would like numb it, and then he was sticking his finger in there to see if it was, yeah, it was just disgusting.
And you were watching it?
Yeah. Well, no. I was screaming like a little bitch, like looking away. It was numb, so I didn't feel anything. But yeah, shout out to my sister for saving my life. I love you.
Hey, shout out. Without that, we wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, because yeah. Thanks, Denise. Another one involves me getting injured again that same year. So that happened Christmas break. This is the last day of school, or second to last day of school. And we are in LBJ there in Elsa. And I had my cousin Edenio in for a class. And we were playing Kill the Man with the Ball, which in other parts of the valley, they call it Smear the Queer. So you basically, if you get the football, they're going to tackle you until you let it go or whatever. And whoever has it last wins. Well, I was climbing up we were in the playground, and I'm climbing up the slide, and they throw the ball at my cousin, and I look up, and my cousin's standing at the top of this like 15-foot slide, and he catches it with one arm and fumbles it. And so when it's falling, I catch it in my hand, and I look around, and I see all these little fourth graders running towards me. I'm like, oh shit. So I black out at that point. So my cousin...
Just in fear or just...
No, my cousin jumped from the top of the slide and landed on top of me and broke my collarbone.
Oh, shit.
And so when I land, I just remember like blacking out and then opening my eyes, and like I was like, ah, and I had like dirt in my teeth. I was just crying like a little bit. Well, they take me to the nurse because apparently it was a pretty bad like drop or whatever.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Daniel, for breaking my collarbone. Jerk. And so like... we had already made plans. So they take me to the nurse's office where they had already made plans like, oh, you're not going to be able to swim. You're not going to be able to do anything for 6 weeks. And I'm like, holy shit. Like next week we're going to Garner's for our family vacation for 10 days. Like, fuck. And they're like, yeah, you're going to have to be in a brace. And I remember now I was sitting in that freaking nurse's office, and they had thought I had broken my arm. They didn't know I had broken my collarbone. So they had me in a splint that was over my collarbone.
Oh no.
Like pulling down. And so I was just like crying and crying. So they called my mom over, and they took me to the clinic, and they realized that they had fucked up.
Shit.
Yeah. Those aren't fun memories, but definitely that stand out.
I guess I have one that's like it's really, I can sum it up real quick, but I remember like as kids, we'd always go to Houston, and we have family in Houston, and it was the cousins that I normally meet up with all the time. Like when I went to San Antonio at the same time with my cousin Lizette and my other cousin Christian, we'd always go to Houston, and they'd always take us to this roller skating rink. And I just, for some reason, remember me and my cousin Christian, we'd always go up. There was a DJ there that would play music, and every time we'd go, and throughout every session that we'd go to that rolling rink, we'd always ask the DJ just to like on repeat, just to play Busta Rhymes, Break Your Neck. Yeah, Keep it going, keep it. And we were just like, we just love that song. Yeah. We just always be fucking roller skating to that fucking song in Houston. And I just remember like they'd always be like, "Oh, we're going to the roller rink," and we'd all just get up in the car and we'd behave because they'd be like, "You have to behave," and we'd all just sit down. We want to go to the fucking roller rink. And I'm like, dude, it was so fucking fun.
Oh man, sorry. Go ahead.
My sister one time and my brother-in-law, loved them to death. They were on spring break and they were like, "All right, we're gonna go cruising at the island." And I was like, "Oh, y'all are going to the island?" So I made my parents make them take me. So we went and we were in my brother-in-law's like souped up Honda Accord with like 12-inch speakers, like subwoofer, like crazy, with the whole nine, right? And he had bought the tape of Players Club, and it was like, "We be clubbing. Everybody likes when a girl shakes something. Don't fool," right? So we're like jamming to that song, and I had gone and like I had taken a towel and like swimming trunks and an extra set of clothes, and they told me, "We're not getting in the water." I'm like, "We're going to the fucking beach. We're getting in the water." And so like they were like, "No, we're not going to get in the water." So I went prepared anyway. I had my little pail and everything.
Yeah.
And so I sat in the back of a car for like 4.5 hours while they looped that song, the instrumental version, and then the actual version, like just cruising up and down South Padre Island. I was miserable. And I was just sitting there. "We be clubbing. Everybody likes it. Shake something. Don't fool."
You had a different mentality of what was gonna happen.
I was like, I'm gonna go get to the beach. I'm gonna go
dig
get
some
wet.
fucking holes and shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go make a sandcastle. And we be clubbing. Everybody likes when a girl shakes. Fuck that song. Damn you, Tommy.
It's always funny when you're just like sitting there, you see what the thing that you want, and it's just like,
It's just like a few it's a few miles away or just like
a few yards away.
A few yards away. Like,
oh
my god,
that's
fucking
was
good.
That's what they did for fun in the 90s was cruise. That is so dumb to me. You were saying? I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, just that's fucking hilarious. I don't know. I lost it, but it's fine.
That's good, man.
Sorry. It's just like that. One thing also like childhood memories and stuff. Like I saw this thing on Twitter or this tweet where it's just like there's one time where all your friends got together for one last time and you didn't even realize it.
Like, so fucking sad, but I know what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
You're like even like cousins and stuff like hang out for one time and then that's it.
I've heard TJ tell me this. He's like, "Hey, the friends are like seasons. They come and go. And some, I don't know, I fucked up the quote, but some come and go and some are forever, whatever."
Yeah.
And it just scares me because like I think about like growing up and I had like childhood friends like from first grade all the way until we graduated from high school, and then we just stopped talking. And then I met my friends in college, which are like my best fucking like brothers from another mother, Robbie, Roy, Rick. And then I have like my other work friends that I've made throughout the years, and like it's like you never know how you're that span of how many years you all spend together is gonna, like, it's kind of like the podcast. Like, we don't know how long this is gonna go.
Yeah,
forever. Sorry, guys.
And
forever.
And so like it's just like it's like periods of our lives. Like I think about like my dad being in a bunch of wars and stuff like that, like Vietnam, and I'm like, the guy lived in Vietnam for a while. He lived in Germany for a few years.
Imagine the relationships.
He lived in Japan for a minute.
He made of like, you're not knowing what's gonna happen, how long it's gonna go for. Yeah, you're right.
And he was like, "Oh yeah," and then since I was like 6 years old until he was in his like early 20s, they were migrants, so they would go from Texas to Michigan, and he was born in Indiana. So like I just think about my dad being in certain places throughout his life, and I'm like, fuck, man, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like me being in Houston for 2 years, like I still feel like Houston's home to me, but it's not.
Yeah.
And yeah, just we'll see.
Before we wrap up, I would be like, it wouldn't do it justice if I don't include this story. My cousin Ale, Christina, but we call her Ale. When we were younger, we used to do like put the NSYNC CD inside the boombox and just fucking do choreography to it, just outside, just like, bah, bah, yeah. We're just like, all right, no, do this and do that. We'd always just sing along and like dance along to like every fucking album. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Britney Spears. Sometimes it was
fuck
just like,
yeah, we should do that too.
And that was like it wasn't like whatever like machismo thing. Now it's just like, oh, that's you shouldn't do that. It's for girls only. Like back then, it was just like, no, that was fun, and we do what was fun.
Yeah.
My cousins. And it was during the Spice Girls phase. And it was like, I was the only guy there.
Yeah.
And so I was like the 5th Spice Girl. And we karaoke to Spice. It was so gay.
Yeah. The things we would do, because we had there was no opinion to tell us whether or not it was like not cool. Or
man,
whatever.
you know what? That's what Donald Trump's talking about, man. Make America great again.
Straight up. Make America karaoke again.
I think that's why I'm traumatizing my wife. Like, she's like, let's do karaoke at the house. It's just us two. And I'm like, no. That's like one of my biggest like crippling fears is singing in front of somebody. Hey, so shout out to Jason for that topic, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you for that one, man. Really made us relive a little moment there. That was great. But with that one said, we're gonna wrap this one up, guys. Thanks for listening. We are the Laugh and Death Podcast. Of course, I'm Alex. This is Dave, and of course we have Fernie. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure to comment what you like about this episode, what you didn't like. Make sure to check us out on youtube.com/laughanddeath. Follow us on Instagram at Laugh and Death Podcast, and just interact with us, guys. We'll be asking some more questions for y'all, and so we can get some audience engagement. And thanks again for listening to us and checking us out. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. See ya.
Goodbye.
That was right on.
People of the world, spice up your life. Every boy and every girl, spice up your life. People of the world, spice up.
The club song? Or?
We be clubbing. Everybody likes when a girl shakes. I got that. I got it right here.
That's
dude.
funny to me, dude, thinking about that.
Stupid Ice Cube piece of shit.